Hi guys, welcome back to the Backheel podcast. It is the second episode. We are back after chatting loads of rubbish for like 40 minutes last week when it was only supposed to be about 20 minutes. We're going to talk a little bit more Premier League this week. But first, I just want to say welcome back to Savoury Dip from CGH. The
Hello, guys.
Community Gaming Hub. And
Hello.
Pete's here. Yeah, Pete's there. And Phil from It's Over the Line. Please make sure you go and check out...
Hello.
Wow. Phil and CGH's links, please. Boys, I would like to talk to you. Actually, no, Pete said he'd like to talk about he named one of these teams. Pete, name one of your teams you'd like to talk about. Go on, who are we going to start with that you'd like to talk about in the Premier League? We had a few teams that we wanted to mention.
There was.
Who are you going to start with?
We can start with one I've been really, really impressed with. That was Arsenal.
Okay.
We'll go with Arsenal.
All right.
We said that they were going to do well. We spoke about this last week.
Yeah.
They look unstoppable. I know it's a Villa team. It wasn't even Villa this week, was it? Sorry.
Forest.
It was Forest. I know it's Forest. But Forest have just come off of beating Liverpool. Go out and get destroyed. All right, Phil.
Yeah, we're not...
Say that again.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, we wanted to brush over it, but fuck you, all right?
Did you say Forest or Leeds? I'm confused. Say it again.
They look good this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. The only bad thing...
Check out
is
Phil
I
the
haven't
last time he comes on.
Yeah. I'm trying to look out tonight to see how long it's for. But it looks like Saka might be out.
Yeah, I said that when I was sat in a Discord call. I can't remember I think Dick was sat with me when I was watching the game, and I said about Saka might. Hey, we had to go off injured.
It didn't look too good. Hopefully, it ain't too bad. Don't really say how long it's for at the minute, but England's only around the
Usually they come
corner.
out a couple of days or so after, doesn't it? Like they did a test on the Monday back at the training ground and all that kind of stuff. So it's usually, I reckon by Wednesday or Thursday we'll know a bit more about it.
We're getting very close to the World Cup now, though.
Mind you, the player that came on for him did all right. To be fair, didn't he? Reece Nelson scored more goals than Kulusevski and Richarlison this season combined, and they've played, I think it's something like 12 games between them, 14 games between them. He's played 60 minutes.
Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, Arsenal are looking very, very, very good at the minute.
Saka looks like it's not so serious. They reckon he might play Sunday.
Oh, that's all right.
Well, that's a win. That's a win
Because it didn't look too good.
I know. I think did we all? No, we didn't all have him in our starting lineup, did we? In the England's episode that we did on CGH's channel last week.
No.
So make sure you go check that out. But yeah, I don't think we all included him. I think. In fact, I might have been the only one.
Yeah, I was about to say I did.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I had him in there.
There was at least two of us then.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But yeah, as good as Man City are, and as good as Haaland is, I can't bet against Arsenal now winning this league. They looked so... I know they're playing Forest, but they looked so good at the weekend. Did you watch it, Phil?
I didn't, but then I think back to the game that we all watched together, the United and Arsenal game, and for a good chunk of that game, Arsenal outplayed us. You can see that there's a good team in them. I know that's not a difficult thing to say. Shut up. I
didn't say anything.
But you could see that they were going to be a good team. I still think they're going to tail off, but we've not had a challenger to City other than Liverpool in the last couple of years. Liverpool are not the challenger. It's good to see that somebody has stepped up.
I was going to say the exact same thing, to be fair, even as a Liverpool fan, that I actually quite welcome it because it's been depressing with only us. If it hadn't been for Liverpool, Man City would have been dominant for, 7 seasons in a row now?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I thought Arsenal would... I knew Arsenal do well, but I've been thinking like this. In January, if they get someone like Tielemans as cover, because they're a bit short in central midfield, and they manage to get a striker, just 2 players... I reckon they could really make a push for this if Haaland has a couple of bad games.
Well, that's it, isn't it? Because I know, did Jesus started again, didn't he?
Yeah, but he's playing very, very deep now, and he's kind of become a bit of a playmaker for them.
Well, I believe that's nearly an entire month that he hasn't scored.
Yeah, they need someone like a Tielemans just to boost that midfield, bolster that midfield a bit. Someone like Ivan Toney, and I could see them smashing goals in all day long.
Do you know what?
Not a bad shout.
That's
I think
actually
he'd do all right there.
Yeah, I think that's a really good shout. But again, you're spending what? He's probably a £30 million player, but he's probably going to go for 50.
And the rest.
Because he's English.
The
Yeah,
English
yeah.
premium.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's it. I'd say it's maybe a £30 million player.
So though, if you can
Add
get
20 on.
second, if you can pretty much guarantee second or third place for that, even push for the title, it pays for itself though.
Yeah, and it's not just the place in the league. It comes that they get Champions League football again, which they've obviously been after for a very, very long time. So
I'm thinking out today, and I just think something like you can see them really take a step up and push them.
Especially coming off a back of midweek as well. They were terrible midweek against PSV. So
yes, the only thing is on that front though that they've both qualified, haven't they?
they've both qualified, but they needed to win that to top the group, didn't they?
Right.
But,
Okay. Oh yes, and
You've got
What are
lot
they
of hard
in?
teams coming down.
yeah.
are they in Europa League or Conference League? They're in
Europa
Europa.
League.
Oh, I was going to say
Yeah,
it's Conference League that you have to top your group,
Yeah.
and then you miss an entire round of qualifying.
Yeah.
No, so you do this. That's the same for the Europa League as well.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah,
So
which
you-
is kind
so-
of frustrating.
Okay, so in the Europa League, if you win your group, you go straight into the second knockouts rather than the first.
So
knockout.
if you win your group, you automatically go through to the last 16 or the
Right.
round of 16.
Right,
If you finish second in the group, you
play.
then play off against one of the teams who's dropped down from the Champions League.
Oh,
And if you look at some of those teams that have dropped down,
Yeah.
there's some big names in there.
So for them, they need to beat Zurich on Thursday to
right.
guarantee a place in the last 16. If they fail to win, then they got to play 2 extra games in the knockout round group playoffs,
I mean that.
which includes Barcelona.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ajax.
we'll get to them I think later
Yeah.
on, but
Yeah.
they're not exactly the team they used to be. But I mean, looking at their group, they should still they got Zurich have only picked up one win, and that was the last game against Bodo Glimt. Yeah, they should still top the group. But again, extra 2 games right at the getting towards the tail end of the season when they need they need the fitness more than anything to win the league.
Yeah, they haven't got the biggest squad.
Right. Shall we talk about the Newcastle? I don't want to do it to Dip, but Newcastle.
Yeah, they are smashing it.
They've
I'll
just-
refer to them. I don't know what it is. They just seem to have clicked and hit form right at the right time. And I know that I was speaking to a couple of Newcastle fans who are mates of mine. They were expecting a hammering off Villa.
Yeah. Well, I sat there and watched the game, and the first half, like most of the first half, it was, do you know what? Newcastle were on top. But Villa were getting chances. Then Newcastle scored and came out for second half and just looked like a totally different team.
Well,
They were crazy.
I've just looked at the sort of the ratings from BBC that they give. Obviously, I think that's just I don't know how they get them, but it's just looking at the big names that played well in that game. So Wilson, Almiron, Trippier, Bruno, Gameres, and Joelinton and Botman. So all players that we mentioned, maybe with the exception of Joelinton, who's basically been a whole new signing for them.
Yeah, well, he's gone from being a striker to a centre mid, hasn't he? So,
It's a very weird sort of transition that Eddie Howe's obviously saw. He's done well.
Almiron's come to life as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Eddie
so
Howe.
I always thought he would come
Since
on
the
and do.
Grealish comment.
I used to watch it when he used to play for Atlanta United with who was it? Martinez, the Venezuelan striker.
yeah.
Don't know where. Can't remember. Did he ever leave?
He's still there.
Yeah, so he was always the one I thought that would leave, but Almiron always looked good, so I knew he would. He probably would come good eventually. I just didn't know if he'd be good enough for Champions League football. By the looks of things,
Yeah.
At the minute, yeah.
It's just crackers. What else?
This time last year. Was that this time last year in the league? It was crazy.
Well, Eddie Howe's made a difference, hasn't he?
Yeah.
There's a whiff of Leicester about him. Their title winning run. They were a team that played together for a good couple of years, and they just needed that manager that knew how to get the best of what he had. And look what they achieved. Eddie Howe, excellent manager. very, very similar for me. You can see they know each other. They know how to play to each other's strengths. And Eddie Howe's bringing the sort of like gluing it all together. I've been really impressed with them, and I do hope it continues. I really do. Sorry, Dip. I do.
So I do. Perhaps I share the same sentiment. To be fair, no, they're doing well. I was just looking at the results, and they've not had a massive test yet, though, other than City. They drew 3-all with. They've not really played anyone.
Do you know
I
what?
see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I think the only time I really got the hint of hold on a minute, these look a lot better than I thought, was the United game last season. When they went, was it at United, and it just that game they were unlucky. Did they lose or did they draw? They were really unlucky. I remember Ronaldo throwing a right strop, and Newcastle played him out the park.
They were. It's the first half of last season. They were quite possibly one of the worst teams I've ever seen play in the Premier League. They were awful. Couldn't string 2 passes together.
And then they kind of span it.
Yeah, I was like rubbing my hands together because we were on fire at the top end. The beginning of last season, we were on fire. Thinking, I hope we get them in the cup. I really hope we get them in the cup. And I don't know.
I do miss the old Sunderland Newcastle games.
We were talking about this.
I do. There's some good rivalry. So I thought maybe that's something else we can do at some point. Yeah, we've sort of been talking about videos that we could do this sort of week and for all 3 channels. And maybe we could do a tier, mate. One of those tier lists for football rivalries in the English league.
Yeah,
that could
definitely.
be quite good.
Yeah.
Because I think Newcastle Sunderland would be right up there.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I don't think there's many better than it in England. And that's not just me being biased. It's just it's the pure hatred between the fans. But just on that match day though, because there's families who are completely split down the middle, and then it comes to a match day and they
separate.
They hate each other. So,
which is where Liverpool Everton can't even come close to it because
they sit together.
They do, and it's weird. They just sit in the same stand. And I'm like, okay, this is odd. This is odd.
Yeah.
And then the Man United, Man City. Only Man City care about Man United. Man United don't really care about Man City.
Yeah, for United, it's more Liverpool and probably Leeds more so than them.
Yeah.
Hate Leeds.
Yeah, again, that is kind of Liverpool Everton as well because Liverpool don't care about Everton really. We care about United. Yeah. That's the one we want to beat every year. It makes no other real difference. That, if anything, I'd say the one that we want to beat more sort of slowly that seems to be creeping up is Chelsea. Like, there's been this sort of a hatred that for years that was sort of there.
Everybody hates Chelsea.
From Gerrard.
I think it's all from that semi-final time.
It was from Gerrard days, mate. From Gerrard signing. That's what it was. And yeah, I've always wanted to make sure we get one over Chelsea. And then obviously, recent times, it's almost like a friendly rivalry with City, isn't it? It's not a derby. But speaking of Liverpool, did we talk Liverpool?
Big trouble.
I told Phil to shut up the other day because I didn't want to talk about it too much with him because I wanted to talk about it now. So it's got to that point that the podcast is affecting our personal lives because I want to talk about it here and make sure it's spoke about.
Fair enough.
I don't know what Liverpool needs to do now, to put it completely honestly, and this is why I wanted to include Leicester in this talk as well. Is it getting towards that time where a manager change might have to happen? I don't
want it.
I can't see him turning it around drastically. Losing Mane was a massive loss.
He's been more of a loss than I expected.
Not being able to replace Mane's killed you off a little bit, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Nunes looks he looks all right.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Yeah.
It's exactly what it is.
Yeah. He is the.
I've seen some of his runs, and his pace is mental. Bitch, do something with it.
But he's different to what Liverpool are used to. They're used to the free interchanging up top, and just he's not like that. He's straight down the middle, and big, strong, powerful. And they've not had that for quite a while, Liverpool. And I think they've tried to fit him into the interchanging front three, rather than playing to his
We haven't had a
Um,
player of Nunez's style since Torres, really.
No,
No.
that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's any good anyway. And we had Andy Carroll, but he could have been great for us, but he just wasn't. Obviously, injuries, whatnot. But yeah, before that was Torres, I suppose.
I think the frustrating thing for me, we can go loss at Forest, we beat Ajax, and then Leeds, and it's like this is frustrating again. And Van Dijk's lost his record now, hasn't he? First home defeat ever in a Liverpool shirt at Anfield.
In the league, you mean?
Yeah, in the league.
Yeah.
Crazy
Lost a
stat, that.
4-year record.
Jeez, it's crazy
Yeah.
stuff.
He's never lost a game at home in the league.
So
Watching the game the other day, you don't look like the Liverpool you used to, with you zipping the ball around and playing with
I agree.
confidence, and
Do
it
we
just
also
looks
have to
completely
give-
different.
Props to teams that they face so far.
Yeah.
Have they become that predictable that teams know how to play against
So
them?
there's a real
This is my
issue.
worry.
There's a real issue that we've become a bit one-dimensional, which was always our problem under Rodgers, and I used to scream it from the fucking rooftops that we didn't ever have a plan B under Rodgers ever. So there was one way of playing football, and that was it. And okay, it nearly won us the league, but because we didn't have it, is the reason we didn't win the league. But we had a plan B under Klopp, and we don't seem to be able to utilise any sort of thing else apart from our normal play. And that has become part of the problem, is that we're playing Elliott and Carvalho, as good as they've been good for us this season, to be fair, and they've really come into their own. They haven't got that experience to counteract teams being able to actually play against them. And they're they're being taught how to play just on the training ground. Okay, you're going to be the team that's always dominating. But they don't have the experience to have that plan B. Okay, what if the team figures us out halfway through a game?
Yeah.
And that's really shown this season for us in our midfield.
The thing is, we do need to strengthen up. Even the Fabinho, so that little bit of the middle there, we're looking a lot sloppier than we have the last few years.
In midfield, you've not got a lot in midfield, have you? Other than you look at Henderson and Fabinho, they're probably your two.
Yeah,
Thiago is again like Nunes. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Well, that's it. And he's on his day, he's world class, but
Yeah,
it doesn't happen.
not enough
often.
of these days.
Doesn't happen exactly. There's not nearly enough.
Keita the same. Keita looks.
No,
He's
Keita's not,
all right.
No, I wouldn't even say that, to be honest. Keita should have gone in the summer. I don't think he's good enough to put on a Liverpool shirt.
And
I
then
thought
he
he
signed
would
that-
be, but he's not.
You signed that lad from Juve, that Arter, injured. He probably won't play for you.
He played for our under 23s.
Yeah, he's playing for the under 23s.
injured,
Klopp
though,
sent
isn't
him down there.
He played in the
I'm sure I read he's out for like
he was
6 months or something.
He did.
He played there.
Yeah.
And Jay Spearing said he was that unimpressed. He brought himself on and took him off. Jay
Jesus.
Spearing come on instead of him.
Is he our assistant manager? I think for the under
Yeah,
23s?
yeah. Working with the under 23s, and he brought himself on and took Arthur off. For me, the only thing, and do you know what? We've been quite lucky before. When we've underachieved in the league, recent years, we've had a good Champions League run.
That's true.
And I think that's the only thing that would save us this year.
Yeah, that's the only reason we would keep Klopp, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
I think to go back to your original question, no, Klopp's not going to go. If you're going to go, he'll go at the end of the season.
Yeah. It's not. Will he go? I don't think so. But should he go? At this point, it's sort of.
No.
This is where the concern
Rodgers.
comes.
Yes.
I think Rodgers has got to go, hadn't he? Despite the lack of backing.
Yeah, they were unlucky on Saturday against City. I thought they played quite well.
I think you've got to discount any slightly negative result against City, haven't you? City are a sort of an outlier in the league where you're basing it judged on. Like Leicester aren't expecting to beat a City, but the fact is they're sat in 18th place. They have lost their last one, and they won their two before that, but they're still in 18th place.
It's tight though.
It is
tight down in the bottom.
A win will make the difference.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if
two wins will make a massive difference.
if they pick up,
They could go 9th.
Well,
2 wins.
This is it. They've got 2 very winnable games next: Everton and West Ham.
Yeah.
Quite that second one in particular, the one before the before the World Cup. If they lose both of them, I think Rodgers has got to go before they come back in January, hasn't he? Or December, sorry.
Yeah.
December 26th.
I think the thing is, you're going to end up losing. I really believe they'll end up losing Tielemans in January anyway, so he doesn't go on a free.
Yeah, I agree.
And you've got a key player gone there. You're left with a few key players: Madison, Vardy. Vardy's getting on a bit. He's a great player. He can still do a job, but he's also, can he run that by himself?
The answer is no.
That's a big job.
The answer is simply is no. So,
Who's their backup? Is it Daka? Patson Daka? Is he there?
I don't honestly.
Daka's plays there, yeah.
He has played
and
there,
Iheanacho. He's the other one, and he's their 3 strikers. But
I mean, Iheanacho, Vardy have only scored 2 goals in the league between them this season.
Yeah. And they've said they're not doing well with money wise.
That's bearing in mind they've played 2 games. They've scored 2 goals, and if you add up their appearances together, they've played 24 games.
Wow, just not good enough.
Obviously, they're playing in the same games most of that time.
There's definitely 3 teams who are worse than them, though.
Yeah,
not on current form.
Yeah, but as a squad, no, there is worse teams.
I don't think they'll go down, but I think a change of manager probably would help.
Do you know what?
I think something needs to change.
I honestly don't necessarily know. Bournemouth have obviously gone off the boil, so they might fall down, but they're still going to get a new manager in at some point. I don't think O'Neill's going to get the job because they got new owners coming in at Bournemouth, haven't they?
Yeah, they got them American fellas coming in, haven't they?
So I'd be very surprised if O'Neill gets the job. I'm not sure who they'd give the job to, but to be honest, just off the top of my head, you watch them offer the job back to Scott Parker.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
it's a strange team though, Bournemouth, because like looking at it, they've no real superstars. Like even they've come up from the Championship, there's no one like you want to go into the Prem thinking Dominic Solanke's going to be your main man. You know what I mean? But
I mean, yeah,
he's not.
He smashed it in the Championship last season. In all fairness to the guy,
it's making that step up.
Yeah, the step up's always the hardest step up for a striker, I think.
No, of course they got our ex boy, Forest Green's ex boy. They got Kiefer Moore.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, I've just found out his middle name. One of his middle name. Anyway, his name is Kiefer Roberto Francisco Moore. What a name! What's a name? He'll be starting. I expect he'll probably start for Wales in the World Cup. To be fair, as well.
Yeah, he probably will.
But yeah, their top scorer's got 3 all season. They're sitting mid-table-ish.
It's a strange old league this year.
It is
very weird.
We're talking 10 points between Fulham in 7th and Forest in 20th after 13 games, which is way closer than you'd ever expect.
Do you know something I was thinking about? There used to be a massive difference, I used to think, with Premier League quality and Championship quality. This year, a lot of these teams seem very, very close. And I can see a lot of these teams struggling, like being in that mix in the Championship, and this Championship seems being in the mix in the Prem.
Yeah,
I think it's a lot closer.
I see what you're saying. I think a lot of these teams that are in the Prem this year would struggle in the Championship, just with their current squads.
A very, very hard league.
Yeah. Championship this year is looking very good.
How did you get on at the weekend, Dip? Did you?
We drew 1-1.
With Luton.
Yeah, we drew 1-1.
To Luton? Yeah, Luton.
Weird, like watching the game, it's just a weird game. Like we had loads of the ball, didn't really do anything with it. Luton did what Luton normally do when they play against us. I don't know if they do it to anyone else, but whenever we play Luton, they just want to kick 10 tons of shit out of us and our play.
I'll be honest, I'd imagine that's just Luton ball, to be fair.
Well, I was about to say, I've got to be honest, before, I know Luton had a dodgy result last weekend against Watford. They got battered. But before then, they've been on a decent run of form as well.
Yeah, but they play they play like this weird long ball, like out to the sideline and cross it in, and we struggle a little bit with that. Because we can't defend set pieces, we can't defend crosses, and we looked really good going forward, but defensively looked awful. second half, Mowbray made a couple of changes. Ellis Sims came back, so we've actually got a striker fit now. And the game completely changed on its head, and it was all us.
That's the lad that used to play for Everton, wasn't it?
Yeah, we got him on loan from Everton in the summer.
Okay, it's online.
And we just looked completely different second half. And we probably should have won it. With like Ahmed Jallo, who's on loan from United.
Oh yeah,
was absolutely unreal, untouchable.
Yeah. Good player.
He was very, very good. He's just got no cutting edge.
No,
got all the little tricks. He can pass wherever, however, and wherever he wants to. But he hasn't got that. He hasn't got a killer instinct, and that's all he's missing from the game at the minute. I think that's all that he needs. But like, what did you pay for him? 35 million. It's quite a lot
something
of money.
Like that. Yeah, it wasn't far off
silly.
that.
But yeah, you can tell.
I think he will go on to be a good player.
He was at Rangers,
but it won't be at United.
He was at Rangers last season, wasn't
I
he?
don't think.
Yeah, he struggled a little
He
bit
did
at
all right
Rangers.
for Rangers as well, but again, he tailed off a bit. He has a few good games, and then that's it. Then,
like a likely flop.
Yeah, we'll see.
You think you're only like 6-7 points from being right in the mix in the playoffs now?
Yeah. Ross Stewart back training today, which is massive for us. Back on the grass and back with his boots on and stuff. So that's a big positive for us. We play Huddersfield on Wednesday.
Should pick up 3 points.
A must-win game, that one.
Yeah, it's a big game for us. If we can get 3 points there.
You think if Huddersfield beat you, that pulls them within 3 points of you, which is mental.
Yeah, I've got the season like if we can finish before the World Cup, if we're 10th, I'll be very happy. It's doable. It's doable.
Yeah, it's a reach now, like with only 4 points.
Yeah.
4 points.
If we got games.
Well, this is what I'm just wondering.
What do you think? Watford were down there.
Huddersfield, Cardiff, and Birmingham next 3 games.
Oh, you have 3 games. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm thinking you only had 2.
And you think the top team there are Birmingham in 12th?
Oh well, we carry on. We play until the 17th. We've still got 5 games before the World Cup. So
yeah.
We've got Huddersfield, Cardiff, Birmingham, and then we've got West Brom and Hull. So they're all anything at home. I always fancy us to get 3 points at all against anyone.
What's the attendances like at Sunderland at the minute?
I think we're averaging just under 40,000.
It's bloody good. It's bloody good for championship.
Yeah, just under 40,000, and we've just had confirmation today that the EFL have not letting away fans bring coins and vapes into the ground.
Yeah,
because Coventry fans and other fans chucking coins down. Well, directly below, like if you look on the picture behind me, the furthest stand away, that's the away end.
Right.
Right below that, it's a family stand.
Oh, okay.
Chucking coins and vapes down into the family stand where all the kids are.
Yeah. Just why?
So the away fans are getting moved into where they used to be behind the goal, and then we're opening back upstairs again, the Premier Concourse. So I reckon are we at home Boxing Day? Yeah, we're at home to Blackburn Boxing Day. I reckon it'll sell out. I reckon it'll be 49,000 there Boxing Day.
Jesus,
mad. Think about it, mad. We will sort of around the time I was sort of thinking. So for that, we'll move on quickly. Champions League, boys.
Yeah,
I just want to talk about what the hell's happening in Spain and Italy. Barca out, Atletico out, Juventus out. Juventus 3 points from 5 games in their group.
You're even looking at Sevilla, the other team that I know it was a hard team to group.
So they're not as good. They're not as good, are they? Sevilla. They had Dortmund and Man City, but they're not as good. But still, like what is happening over there? Is that wage cap thing that's been coming in at Barca taking effect for them in the Champions League as well?
it's got it's mad when you think someone like Barcelona's not even qualifying for the group stages.
A tough group though. It is a really tough group with the two teams. The two teams that I've gone through in their group, it is like.
But
I think even at full strength, I'd fancy Milan and Munich to finish above them.
I agree. Victor Poulsen have been absolutely screwed in that group. But
Yeah.
the fact is, Bayern Munich have played 5 games and conceded 2 goals.
Yeah.
But like,
They should be challenged more than that by Inter and Barca.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I see what you mean with Juventus though as well. It's not like they even got close.
It's not close. It's not close. And Benfica are nowhere, on paper, nowhere near a team compared to Juventus. Fact is, we're 11, 3 and 3. They're going to be lucky if they finish above Maccabi Haifa.
Yeah, Juventus played 5, won 1, lost 4.
Which means I'm assuming we're going to go into the final game where they all with it all to play for between Juventus and Maccabi Haifa. So Juventus might not even get Europa League at this stage.
Well, goal difference. They'd have to. I mean, it'll have to be a 6-goal swing for.
Well, if they're
Maccabi Haifa to go through, but
no, if
are they playing it? Are they playing each other?
That's what I'm wondering. If they're playing each other.
I'll tell you.
If they're playing each other.
I think Spain and Italy is at its time. I think
Juventus have got PSG.
Oh,
Yeah, Juventus PSG.
So Maccabi Haifa could get a draw against Benfica, and that'd be enough for them to get through if Juventus can't beat PSG.
That would be crazy.
You're saying Italy's had its time?
Yeah,
Or Spain?
Spain and Italy. I think it's at its time. I think the Premier League is such an attractive proposition now for any player. And then if you throw Germany into the mix, I think that's where the players want to go. I think so. They're not attracting the caliber of players that perhaps they once used to. If you think back to sort of like the Barcelona teams of Guardiola, and if you go back to like the Munich teams, and then Real and all that kind of. It's just not what it was. And I think that shows.
Is the problem becoming Italy and Spain and Germany in particular, where it's a one-horse race of recent years? Obviously, for years it's been in Germany, but obviously Real Madrid are the only real team of dominance. I mean, they are the current holders, to be fair, so we can't rule them out of winning this Champions League again this year. But you've only got realistically one team in both of those leagues that players openly want to join all the time. Yeah. And then in Italy, there's no team there that are a bit bigger or better than our top 5, maybe 6.
I just think like Italian league, it's like it's been stuck in the same place for 20 years. Like the football's not evolved where Premier League football has. Yeah, and it's got bigger. The players have got better. The players have got bigger. They've got stronger.
That's kind of what
faster.
I was meaning. Mate. Yeah, you've explained it.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Italian football's kind of stuck at the same point where they still play this slow defensive football.
But when you go back to sort of like the 90s teams of Juventus and AC Milan, when they were challenging for Europe and all the time, and they were amazing teams with amazing players. You've not had that certainly in Italy for a good 10 years now.
Well, do you know what? You got a point you touched on saying then. When it was like that in the Italians, then it went to all the Spanish sides at late 90s. All the best players were there. And now, if you look at it, the players like Haaland coming over here, before, if a Spanish team was after a player like that, there was no doubt he was going to Spain.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Without a doubt, they were going
Premier League's more attractive now than it ever has been because of the way football's played here.
So, I think you got a point. We are getting the best players here. And a lot of people are going, they Spain or England, right, England all the time now.
I think when a giant of European football, Roma, are happy to be winning the Conference League, that says it all.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, to be fair to Roma, they haven't won anything for years, like decades. So, I mean, at that point, just winning something is better than nothing.
Well, you would still think of them as one of the big Italian teams.
Yeah, one of the big boys, but I'm not even sure if they've even in recent years have picked up an Italian cup or something, you know. So when did they last win? They last won a Coppa Italia in 2007, 2008. They won the Super Coppa Italiana in 2007, and they haven't won the league since 2000, 2001. So you're talking
20 years.
Yeah, 20 years of they've had basically one trophy in 20
Thanks
years.
for shitting on me.
Yeah,
point
so
there.
No, but I'm saying that is actually it actually emphasises your point. That's how bad
Yeah.
Italian football's become.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe it does a bit.
That
Yeah,
it's so
yeah.
there's only 3 teams that ever win Italian football. It's Inter,
Yeah.
AC, or Juve.
Okay, so maybe a giant of an Italian team.
No,
is
they
just
are
a
a-
little bit
Rome-
of an
They
example.
are within.
Yeah, they're a big team.
Yeah, they are within their own nation.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing. Back in the early 90s, it was that big mix of players. There was loads of Fiorentina in it, there was loads. And
Yeah,
then it kind of
Fiorentina,
went to
Sampdoria.
then it went to Spain, and now it's kind of come over to England now. And this is where the world's best players want to
Where
play.
did Gaza? Where did Platt?
Yeah.
All them players. Where
Yeah.
did they go? Italy.
Football
Yeah.
Italia. I used to watch Football Italia more
I
than
used to
I used
love
watch
it.
Prem.
Oh, what? Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Channel
I
Channel
knew
4.
Italian football
Yes.
inside out because of
Yeah.
Channel 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it called? Gazette of Football
I
Italia.
can't remember
Yeah,
which
it was
Football
printed on
Italia.
a Sunday morning.
I can't remember which Verona it
Newspaper.
was that I was besotted with. I was besotted with either Hellas or Chieva when I was a kid. I can't remember which one it was.
Yeah.
'Cause I used to love watching Battistute and Roberto Di
Parma.
Matteo.
Fiorentina were always
Udinese.
Fiorentina and Parma.
Yeah.
And the 2 teams I loved watching growing up because of
Yeah.
Parma, especially with Buffon, Thuram,
Yeah.
Zola, Ravanelli. Parma are unbelievable now.
When you think these players come to the Premier League and that when they were fading out of their career, it was a lot earlier, but Ravanelli and that.
Ravanelli,
was
Ravanelli came at his prime. He came to the Premier
Yeah.
League at his it's the peak of his powers,
Mad.
Yeah.
and he was really good for Borough.
Yeah, he was.
It was Jorginho.
One of their best ever. To be fair to him.
Their best ever is Emerson, but we'll get to them at some point.
Yeah.
Make a video.
Yeah,
Gaza played there.
Juninho.
Emerson was class.
Mendieta played there as well once, didn't he?
Yeah, Mendy,
Victor Valdez, he was shit for them, but he was good for Barca. Good for Barca. Right.
Yeah.
We were going to do a game, but I'm gonna leave the games for the other channels that come out, the other videos that come out this week from It's Over the Lines channel and the CGH's channel. And I'm gonna leave it on one more question. We were gonna I'm not gonna bully Phil this week.
Right.
I'm gonna just ask one question.
Oh, God.
United, will you win a cup this year?
No.
Not a single one.
No.
You still in the League Cup?
Yeah, we've got Villa. I'll be there a week Thursday.
You're saying no League Cup, no FA Cup, no
But
Champions
I'm
League.
still saying no League Cup, no FA Cup, definitely no Champions League.
No, you're right. No Europa League or no
Mr. Thursday night.
even no Conference League.
Not this season.
Because I'm fairly sure if you finish second, no, you can't go down to the Conference League from there, can you?
No, so if we finish, so we've got to be Real Sociedad by 2 clear goals to finish top of the group. If we don't, then we go into the playoff thing.
And then you could play in the Conference League.
And we could. I don't know if you
lose.
drop
I don't
down
know
to
how
the
it works.
Conference League.
It's weird.
I'm not sure. Comments, let us know.
We've never been there.
Not sure.
But in I'm going to say, you two, what do you reckon? United to pick up a trophy at last this year?
No.
No, Vic. I just wanted to see if we get Phil's hopes up because last week he said that Italy were going to win the World Cup. So
I think you've got more chance.
Yeah,
winning the World Cup.
Italy winning the World Cup. United. I tell you what, if United win a trophy, I'll show my ass.
Oh God, here we go again. He's done it already on our Discord.
They've won it. He's done that twice.
No.
There's us winning the treble.
But I want to see in the comments today. Anyone that watches this video, can you comment your favourite random European team from a certain year? Because I'd love to know. Because obviously we just mentioned all the Italian teams. Mine was probably, believe it or not, the 2004-2005 AC Milan team. That was my one. So, and they were fucking good. They had Dida, Maldini, Nesta, Shevchenko. Inzaghi, Gattuso, Seedorf.
They've done really well. They played a really good final around then as well.
Yeah, and they lost. So yes, guys, please check out our socials. Please check out everyone else's socials, and please leave a like, share, subscribe, and we will catch you in the next one.
See you later.
Yeah.
See you later.